Over a dozen years ago, the SEC tried to do us a solid and they put out guidance in an attempt to allow companies to wean themselves off the news wires if they so desired. So far, few companies have taken the bait. Today on Zippy Point.
Quick Zips by Zippy Point.
Quick and dirty. I'm Brock Romanek. I'm a big fan of yous. So I could go on and on about this one, and I did just that when I wrote my Reg F Details paperback in my last gig. But I'm going to try to hammer out this Vid-Guide in under 2 minutes. For as long as there's been electricity, companies have distributed their press releases on the wire. Today there are 7 to 8 PR distribution service platforms that form the upper echelon of the industry. So companies still use press releases as their primary channel to inform the market of new developments in most cases. But now that we have the web, you would think that would change. Hence, the SEC took steps towards that goal in 2008 with this interpretive release. The problem is that the SEC came up with principles-based guidance with 8 non-exclusive factors that provide a roadmap for companies seeking to use their own IR web pages as a recognized channel of distribution. That's the term of art here. Recognized channel of distribution, so that any company information that is posted and accessible is considered disseminated for Regulation FD purposes. So I'll let you read these 8 non-exclusive factors on your own. They're in that interpretive release starting on page 20. But my take is that the SEC's guidance is a bit clunky. When you read the factors, the SEC focus on things related to what the company is doing. And for me, the real question should be, is our corporate website a source of information for investors? Do investors use it? What is the SEO, the search engine optimization for our web page? Anyway, few companies have opted in and taken advantage of the ability to free themselves from the news wires. Google and Microsoft are the 2 I can think of. I think Sun Microsystems actually might have been the first one before they were acquired by Oracle in 2010. If you know of other companies doing this, let me know. So these companies looked at the 8 factors that the SEC put out, and they were easily able to meet them because they have this huge investor following, right? It's Microsoft and Google. So they started informing investors of their intentions through statements in one of their releases, and then, in their SEC filings and on their IR web page, informing the market basically we will be posting on our IR web page any content related to IR stuff. And so they acclimated investors to the fact that investors were going to be cut off from a stream of press releases from those particular companies. For the vast majority of companies, if any of those companies decide to try their hand as using their IR webpage as a recognized channel of distribution, when it comes to your earnings releases, I recommend that you continue to ensure that your item 2.02 8Ks have been accepted for filing and are publicly available on EDGAR as urged on by this CorpFin staff interpretation before you're posting your earnings release on your IR webpage to ensure FD compliance. One reason perhaps there hasn't been a sea change might be the dependence of companies on newswires or just stuck in their old ways, used to doing that, willing to pay the money that it takes to put out a press release. It's actually not that expensive. But my main point here is that most companies just don't want to be risk takers, particularly if there's not much of a benefit. So as you can see, the result is there's been just very tentative baby steps over 12 years. This is an area where perhaps you imitate and you don't innovate. So perhaps if other companies start jumping into the water here, then you're going to see a sea change. Let me highlight that back in 2008, when the SEC put out its release, the SEC really did have the best of intentions. They wanted to open things up, save companies money, but that 2008 guidance sorely needs an update. It came out before social media really became a thing. Exhibit A for my case here is the Twitter problem. In 2013, the SEC issued interpretive guidance in the form of a Section 21A report from the SEC, but the guidance came out at the commission level when you put out a Section 21A report at the commission level, but it was an enforcement matter, and it was directed at Netflix. But anyways, that serves as a guidance on how to use Twitter as a recognized channel of distribution for social media, and see my separate vid guide about how to use Twitter as a recognized channel of distribution. So for more vid guides about Reg FD, go to zippypoint.com or search YouTube with the hashtags of #RegFD, #ZippyPoint.